Yo, what is good? I'm Michael J. Welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you some of my techniques on how to manage your money more efficiently and how to budget better. And the reason why I wanted to do this video was because I see a lot of my clients really struggle in this area. I would say 10% of my client base are good at this. A lot of the people that I kind of just interact with on a daily basis as well, that I speak to, also really struggle in this area, and I was the same. Before I got into business, I was not good at this at all, but as soon as I got into business, I really needed to step up my game. So I've got some real killer strategies to share with you in this video today, which will help you be more efficient with your money and help you stay on top of the game. So why is it important that you really keep on top of this area in life? Well, firstly, money, even though that is not what the end goal should be, making as much money as possible, money is an important part of life, whether we like it or not. We can't live without it. We can't do the things that we really want to do without it. And we can't really lead a life that we really want to live without money. And a lot of people really overlook this area in life, in all honesty. And some people I know don't even really check their bank account on a weekly or whatever kind of basis, and I think that's just insane, because unless you're on top of your money, you don't really know where you are with things, and you're always kind of waiting for the next paycheck. You're always kind of firefighting with kind of credit cards, and you're not really on top of it at all. So it just plays a big part in your mental state, your mindset, and just general happiness, really, even though you might not think it does. It really does, and it's a subconscious thing, and it's definitely an area that you need to really get on top of to really feel at ease and comfort really in everyday life, whether that's in business or working for yourself or whether you're in a job or not. It doesn't really matter. You need to be on top of your money. The reason why this is an area that we should really delve into and that you make it a priority in your life is because it's an area that really affects all of us. That is the honest truth. We might not think it does, or we might not want it to. And really, money should not be the end goal for us all. But no matter what, whether you like it or not, money is important in life. We need it to live. We need it to live and to enjoy ourselves. We need it to live a life that we really want to lead and to be able to do the things that we really want to do, whether we like it or not. And if you don't look into this area, you're always going to be stuck in that vicious cycle. You're always going to be stuck in that rat trap, that 9-to-5 rat race. And if you don't want to leave a job and you don't want to work for yourself, that's fine. But you're always still going to be stuck in that vicious circle of waiting for that paycheck, paying for the holidays on credit cards when you really can't afford it. You know, doing things that you really can't afford to do, and just not really knowing where you are with your money is just always going to keep you caught in that kind of vicious cycle of waiting to get paid, being skin, waiting to get paid, being even more skin. And I know some people that are really badly in debt because of this, like a lot of people. So don't be one of them people, and get this shit together and start taking responsibility for yourself and your own finances, because we're grown-ups and we all should know how to do this and be on top of the game when it comes to managing our own finances. So how can you get on top of the game when it comes to managing your finances and being able to budget and live within your means? So the first thing that you really need to do is work out what your expenditure is. That is an absolute must. You need to know how much money that you're spending on a monthly basis. So things that you need to include in that are your house, obviously any house bills that you've got. So that's going to be rent, electric, gas, water, insurance, council tax, whatever it is, you know, anything to do with your house, you need to include in there. Also to include in there is your car, anything to do with your car. So we've got a loan for the car. I know most people who have kind of a monthly loan for the car. I don't know many people who have got kind of 20-30 grand just to buy a car outright, and I wouldn't recommend that anyway, to be honest. So let's say, you know, you might be spending 200 to 300 quid a month on your car, but then you've got insurance on top of that as well. It might be 50 to 100 quid a month. Then you've got petrol as well. On top of that, you've got your tax, your road tax. So make sure you're budgeting for all of that and be realistic with it. Don't kind of undercut yourself. So petrol, for example, if you spend 40, 50 quid a week on petrol, put it in there. Don't just put 25 in there so it looks like you're not spending that much on that. On top of that, we've got food. So food, let's just keep it to kind of necessities. So what food do you need to kind of live on a daily basis for? For me, mine's quite cheap actually. I eat quite a lot at home. I like to cook my own food and be quite healthy with that. So I only budget myself 25 quid a week, and that kind of gets me Monday to Friday's food. When it comes to food, like eating out and things, that goes into my entertainment kind of budget. So that's something else that you need to include in there. How much do you want to spend on entertainment purposes? So if you're really trying to budget, you might want to really slim this down. But for me, I give myself a bare minimum of 50 quid a week on that. If you can't really afford that and you're really trying to budget, then you might not want to include that at all. Although I would really highly recommend budgeting something in there for entertainment purposes. Some people like to go out and just have a meal, so you might want to just go out for a meal once a week, for example. I know some people like going to the cinema or kind of trips to the seaside or something. Whatever it is, you need to put in there something that you're going to be spending on entertainment purposes. Other things to include in there are your phone bill. I know probably 99% of the population have probably got a phone now, whether that's 20, 30, 40, 50 quid. Gym memberships. Do any of you go to the gym? I imagine that a lot of you do. I don't know one person who doesn't actually, so you've got kind of the gym membership. Things like Netflix, YouTube. I know me personally, I have Netflix, I have YouTube. I was doing Prime for a little while as well, but I've now kind of cut that out. I've got Audible as well for my books, so that's like 6-7 quid a month. And all these little things might not kind of seem big on their own, but you need to include these in your budget because we need to have a realistic view of what you're spending on a monthly basis. Then what we need to do is work out what your income is. So types of income might be obviously your wage that you get from a job that you've got. Other incomes might be, if you're obviously self-employed, you need to include anything that you get from that. You might have some side hustles, for example. Like me personally, I've got an Amazon business, I've got a few properties that I rent out. I've also got some investments in crypto. So you might also want to include kind of any dividends that you've got if you've made any investments in companies, or if you've made any investments in stocks and shares or in crypto, for example, as I've just mentioned. Anything that you've got that's bringing you some money in, include in that list. So now that we've got our expenditure written down, now that we've got our income written down, what is the next step? So the best thing we can do here is look to where we can reduce our expenses. So something that I'm looking to do, which I've not done yet, I'm in the process of doing it, is by reducing the things that I don't really use much. So Audible, to be honest, I've had that running for about 1.5 years and I barely use it, to be honest. So that's something I'm definitely going to tick off my list. I'm actually getting rid of Sky in the next month because I've realised that I don't really watch TV very much, and if I ever do watch TV, it might be Netflix or just some kind of film, and I can either buy that for a few quid these days on YouTube or buy it on Prime or something like that. So I don't really need Sky, and that's going to save me a good 60, 70, 80 quid a month. So I'm definitely going to take that off. So it's really important that you look at the areas that you're not really needing and the expenditure that you can just do without. So I know some people spend quite a lot of money on themselves in terms of kind of clothes and going out and things, and I know I mentioned the entertainment budget before. This is something that you can really slim down on, and it's something that I very much had to get used to, just because I just want to stay on top of the game and I want to be making sure that I'm not spending things that I don't really need to spend. So if you're spending 200 quid a month on clothes, do you really need 200 quid a month on clothes? Probably not. Give yourself enough money so you can buy yourself one thing a month. So 50 quid, for example, or even for girls, I know girls can get stuff really cheap these days, 25 quid a month, okay? Especially if you're skin and you're looking to budget, things like this can really, really help. Entertainment, obviously, you can really slim this part down as well. You can actually take entertainment out altogether, but that's not something I would recommend because, again, we need to make sure that we're staying happy as well as budgeting and being efficient with everything, we still need to be enjoying ourselves, and that's obviously directly linked to mindset and happiness. So we need to make sure that we've got some budget in there for entertainment purposes, but don't overdo this. Don't be giving yourself 500 quid a month if you can't really afford and you're only earning, let's say, 1,500 a month. That's not realistic, okay? So I would definitely budget myself there, slim it down, and make sure you're not overdoing it in the entertainment area. The next step we need to take is look at increasing our income. And there are many ways we can do that, and I've covered quite a few times in previous videos on how to earn more in terms of passive income. But I'll cover very briefly here in terms of how we can earn more money, especially if you've got a 9-to-5 job. So if you've got a specialist area, for example, you could create yourself an online course. All that takes is your time, so you are going to have to put some time into it in your spare time, obviously when you're not working. And once you've done that, you can create yourself a course and then just sell it, put it out for sale, and you can just sit back and obviously watch the sales come in. Obviously going to need to do some advertising and pushing out there in terms of social media and your online presence, but that's possible. Another thing that you can do to earn more money is to look to invest in stocks and shares. Now, that's not an area that I personally invest in. I'm more an investor in the crypto side of things. I think it's a lot more lucrative. It's definitely an area that you can look into, but stocks and shares for me, it's more of a long-term thing. If you're wanting some more kind of shorter term gains or medium to shorter term gains, I would definitely recommend looking into the crypto space for sure, if you don't mind taking a little bit more of a risk. Another way you can make money is by creating content online and becoming an influencer. So obviously this takes a long time to kind of build up. You can't just start putting content online and start making money overnight. This is going to take a year to 2 years to kind of build up your following. You have to put content out regularly, and then you can start monetizing your videos. Something kind of closely related to the last point is becoming an affiliate marketer. So once you've got a really nice online presence and you've got a good following, good loyal following, you can then start selling other people's products through those videos and through your channels. So say for instance, if you've got a YouTube channel and you want to sell a course, someone else's course, you can become an affiliate marketer by getting a specific link from that company, and you would create a video, you would talk about that particular course, and then you would link it at the bottom on the description, and whoever clicks on that link and buys that course, you will get a commission for that. So that's a really cool way to make the most of the channel that you've built up over time, but obviously again, that's not an overnight thing. It's going to take you a year or two to build up that following to be able to sell other people's products and make money. An area that I've not really dived into, but it's definitely something I'm thinking about doing, is by creating a book. And that just sounds like, what the hell? Like, so overwhelming in terms of how do I even start creating a book? But I know people that have created books and actually said it's a lot easier than you think. You might just write your initial ideas down, and then you'll work with a copywriter and a publisher and whatnot, and then you'll just kind of do the work with them. They'll obviously have to take a cut of the book, but it's definitely an area that you can look into and make money, and I know people who have made really decent money from it. And obviously once you've created that book and you've got it online, you can just sit back and watch that money roll in for years. Another way you can make money is by investing in property and earning regular money from the rent that you charge your tenants. Now obviously this isn't a cheap way of doing things. If you've got 20-25 grand spare, for example, property is definitely something that I would recommend that you get into, especially if you like more safer things and long-term investments. Property is definitely for you, because you might not earn loads and loads from it, but it's definitely a safe, long-term, steady investment. So the next piece of the puzzle is to start looking at your money in a very efficient and controlled way. And how we do that is by budgeting and by allocating a percentage to each area that we need to be spending our money on a monthly basis. So those areas look like this. So the first area is obviously your living expenses. We need money to live. So the percentages that we need to put into that is around 50 to 55%. So let's say 55% for argument's sake. So that would include your rent, it would include your car, petrol, food, any kind of bills, anything you need to live on a bare minimum, that is your living expenses. That's 55%. The next thing that we need to add to that is 10% on entertainment purposes. So if you earn £2,000 a month, for example, you need to put 200 quid a month for entertainment purposes. And again, we've already covered that. That might be going to the cinema, it might be going out for drinks with your friends, it might be going out for meals. Entertainment purposes, 10%. The next area we're going to look at is investments. So definitely something that we need to be doing on a monthly basis, no matter how much we earn, is trying to put 10% of our money into an investment. Because no matter whether we're in debt or no matter whether we're doing really well in life, we always need to be investing our money to make sure our money is working for us. Okay, and that can be anything. That can be in stocks and shares, as I mentioned before. It can be in cryptocurrencies. It can be savings for property, for example. So 10% for investments. The next area we need to include is 10% of savings. So we need to be saving at least 10% of our money every single month until we earn a certain amount of money. Okay, so let's say, for instance, we lose our job. Okay, we need to make sure we've got enough savings to be able to cover ourselves for a certain amount of time. So that amount of time that I'm going to recommend is 6 months. So if your living expenses are 1,500 quid a month, for example, then we need to save 6 times 1,500 quid a month, which is 9,000. So make sure that you're saving 10% of your income. Again, if it's £2,000 a month, you need to be saving 200 quid a month, which means that you're going to be saving around 2.5 grand a year. So just work that out. If you're saving 2.5 grand a year, how long is it going to take you to achieve that 6-month safety net, just in case anything goes wrong, you lose your job or whatever it may be? The next area we need to look at is education and educating ourselves. And we're going to allocate 10% of our money for that. So educating ourselves, for me, is a really, really high priority in life, and is an area that some people, a lot of people, really overlook. And it's going to be different for everyone. Okay, so for you, it might be learning how to ride a horse, for example. It might be learning all about cryptocurrency. Like for me, I'm spending a lot of money and a lot of time learning about cryptocurrency. I'm also spending a lot of time with business coaches, so people in business and entrepreneurs that are doing better than me. I pay those money on a monthly basis to help me grow. I also spend money on other teachings like spirituality and things like that. You might want to learn about meditation, you might be learning a language, so I've been learning Spanish for the past few years, so I also spend money on that. Whatever it may be for you personally, make sure you put yourself 10% away of your monthly income into educating yourself. So that then leaves us with 5%. And what we're going to do with that 5% is we're going to give it away to someone else. We're going to give it to charity. So that is going to do amazing things for other people, and it's going to do good things for us as well. So it's not only going to make us feel good, okay, because it does feel good to give away. It's going to do amazing things for other people. You're going to help people out. You could change people's lives. And we're not doing this to kind of brag. We're not going to give away and then promote it on social media. We're just going to do it in the background because that's the right thing to do. And it also gives us an abundance mindset. So it don't make you kind of real Scrooge with your money. It's like, this is mine, 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 mine. As soon as you give a bit away, you're just going to have an abundance mindset, and that's going to carry through the rest of your life and all areas in your life. And I believe in the universe, and if we're giving away, then I believe the universe will pay us back tenfold, although we're not just doing it for that. So now we've worked out our income, we've worked out our expenditure, we've looked at ways on how to reduce our expenditure, we've looked at ways on how to increase our income, and now we've set our budgets in terms of percentages. So the next thing we need to do in terms of a practical sense is make sure that we're actually putting all of that into practice. And the first thing we need to do is by reviewing our bank account on a regular basis. Now, this is something that I don't know many people do at all, and it's an area that we absolutely must do. And for some reason, it's just something that I've always done, just to see what's going in and out really, and just to make sure I'm kind of on top of my game when it comes to my finances. And it's not about being tight, that's not what it's about. It's about being controlled with what you can afford and what you can't afford. So definitely, at least on a weekly basis, check your bank and make sure you stick into the budgets that we've just explained, okay? Put it into practice. I guarantee that alone will be an absolute game changer. So that's it from me today, guys. I really hope you're taking a lot of value from that and really start taking this area in your life seriously, because at the end of the day, this is our lives. And money, even though we don't want it to be, is an important part of it. So why overlook it? Start taking control of your finances, because we're all adults here, right? So take this advice in this video seriously, start implementing these techniques, and I guarantee your life will feel much sweeter because you'll be on top of your shit. You'll start earning more money, or you'll feel like you start earning more money. You'll be saving more, your investments will start growing, and you'll start living within your means, which means you're just gonna feel much happier in life. So if you like this video, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to my channel, and until next time,